Assalamu alaikum. Got to make sure you can hear me before I say anything. Can you hear me in the back, sisters? All right. In the name of Almighty Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, our divine leader and teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm going to speak to you this evening. I'm going to be directing most of what I have to say to the women in the audience. Not saying that you are not to listen to what I'm saying, my brother, but that I want the women in the audience to pay strict and close attention to what I am saying. What does Islam mean to the black woman? How is Islam relative to me and you as women? What is in it for us? In order to understand the place of the woman in Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that it is necessary to go to the root of her origin. For Islam is the natural way of life. It is a word meaning more than a belief in a mere religion. It is the natural order of things. Why indeed was she made in the first place? And for what purpose? Everything and everyone has a place. There is order in the universe. There are no chance happenings, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches. There is a natural order to things, and whenever people or anything get out of order, there is confusion, there are clashes, conflicts, and there is no peace. Our main problem, sisters, is that we are out of our orbits. There is a God. The ministers have well taught you this. And if you do not believe in God, they can surely change your minds about him. There is a divine judgment. All the Holy Scriptures, Bible and Holy Quran, both testify to this. And every one of the major religions of the earth are bearing witness to the time of the judgment being now. Then I ask you, my sisters, where are you? Where do you stand in respect to the time of the judgment? Those of us who have already accepted the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad realize that he brought us out of the darkness of ignorance in respect to ourselves and our place into the light of the reality of the knowledge of self in our proper places. We indeed needed someone to help us, someone to teach us this, for we did not know ourselves nor our proper places in the cosmos, nor did our mothers or our grandmothers. And we have experienced much conflict, chaos, and problems. I know that many of you are searching to find yourselves. I too was searching. I was not born with the knowledge of Islam. My parents were Christians. I went to a university in the United States, as many of you have or are seeking to do, thinking that I knew what I wanted out of life: a good job, a good position, money, prestige. I wanted to be somebody. The white American system had me thinking, as many of you are thinking, that our success is based on how many degrees we have from their universities. Oh yes, I was a part of their clubs, their sororities, dance, drama, theater, yes. But what do you have in their sororities, their social standards, their societies? A phony, artificial world where you fooled yourself or you were fooled by someone else. No one really being truthful. It is what you have in money and looks and degrees that they measure you by, not the real you. These things occupy time. They were amusing to me at first, but then if one truly analyzed this world, they would find it unfulfilling and still lacking. I left America and went to Africa, thinking I was going home. I attended the University of Khartoum in the Republic of the Sudan. I watched and studied these people. The Sudanese looked like us, but they had not undergone what my people had for so many hundred years. We were here under the slave master and their suppression in the United States. Their world was completely different from ours. Theirs was one of peace and harmony. I went with American habits and ways and found that if I wanted to be accepted as a decent person with good morals, that I had to change not only my mannerisms, but my appearance. I had to modify my dress. I had to wear longer dresses. I had to cover up my arms. I had to raise my neckline. I had to do all these things. I had to adjust the language that I used. I had to eliminate the use of slang words like bad. You know, when you say that was really bad, when you mean good, and cool when you meant something agreed with you. I was tolerated by them, and many of them even took the time to teach me what real decency is. I learned that American women are not respected at all abroad, and that the American black woman is looked down upon, disrespected, and disregarded even more. We are still looked upon and regarded as being ignorant servants to the world. I was even told that the Christian name that I wore at that time, which was Christine Wilson, was not my name, that it was a white person's name. I was told this by a group of women from an outlying town when I was traveling on a train in the Sudan. I am thankful that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took away that slave name I had and gave me an original name with good meaning, one recognized and respected by the world. You need a good name too. You do not belong in the white man's name or woman's society wearing the white woman's name. I do not want to get into my own personal history here, but in short, I want you to know that I learned of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad while I lived abroad for 3 years, 2 in Africa, Egypt and the Sudan, and 1 in Europe. They asked me about him in Africa. They gave me a Muhammad Speaks newspaper in Sweden. In France, I met followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I saw his book, Message to the Black Man, on bookshelves in a bookstore there. I read his book, Message to the Black Man, and wrote my Savior's letter from France to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Having seen both worlds, the East and the West, I was blessed to come to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I came to him from Europe, and I was taught by him nearly daily for 7 years. He said that the knowledge and the experience of both worlds that I had, coupled with his training, he would make me the type of person he needed as a captain over his sisters here in North America. He had me to come to his home, as I said, nearly daily for 7 years. During this time, I listened to what he had to say to many foreign diplomats visiting his home. I was privileged to accompany many of the female visitors. I heard him say much of what he had to say to his ministers, bringing in their reports from all over America. And I heard much of his instructions to his ministers and his laborers. I also heard much of his comments after they left. I was present when many Christian preachers came to his home seeking consultations about his divine mission, including the Reverends Jesse Jackson and Ralph Abernathy. I saw many great Muslims from the East come to his home, giving him the utmost of respect, some of them refusing to even let their heads be on the same level as his. I saw others bowing down at his feet. Of course, he would try to make them get up, and he was embarrassed by so much honor being shown to him. But I want you to know that these were not ordinary Muslims from the East. These were great leaders themselves, people who had Muslims bowing down to them in their own countries. After seeing all of this honor being shown to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was grievous for me to see and realize how little he was respected here among his own people. Yet, as he said, the scriptures must be fulfilled, wherein it states that a man is with honor except in his own house. He told me that he was grooming me and preparing me to put before the world as one of his representatives in the last days. And he told me that he was putting me in a safe place for a time. That place was Cleveland, Ohio. I understand better now than I did then as to what he meant. If you listen to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you will know that they must have a divine origin. Here we had in our midst a teacher who knew our problems, knew the chaos and confusion we were experiencing as black women in America, and knew what we needed to raise us from that low state which white America had cast us in and lift us into a high state, a high place of honor, dignity, and due respect. Here was a man teaching us the sure truth, not a theory or a philosophy. And if these truths were listened to and practiced until they became habitual, then we could be developed into a people to be honored and respected world over. To hear and recognize the sure truth is a blessing. What is wrong with acknowledging and recognizing the sure truth? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's first teachings to the black woman is to respect herself. You cannot expect others to respect you, my sisters, if you don't respect yourself. Stop showing off your forms and your shapes to everyone and anyone. Be selective. Your form is only for your mate, and that is your legal husband and family. What is wrong with wearing clothing which does not show off your female anatomy? Some of my sisters make it so difficult for our brothers to respect them and keep their minds on serious things by wearing tight-fitting pants and sweaters and dresses that it is really a disgrace and an embarrassment to those of us who are trying to follow the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I say to you, my brothers, when your sister is trying to be modest by wearing garments that are loose, please don't go criticizing her and telling her she looks old or old-fashioned or worn out or bad or like Aunt Mammy with loose, long-fitting clothing. Help her to get herself together. Buy her some pretty fabric or beautiful long dresses. We, the Muslim women, have many beautiful garments, and they are graceful and modest. They do not reveal our forms. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad designed and redesigned many different types of uniforms and garments for the women and girls in Islam. Many of you may remember, for a while our styles seem to be changing practically every month, every few months, every few weeks. But I realize now that what we experienced during those days were accelerated lessons in what was proper and right for the women and girls in Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad even elaborated to me on how he wanted us to dress in the last days. Work on cleaning yourselves up, sisters, mentally and physically. You do not need to add color to your face with makeup. You got plenty of color in your skin already. If you do not have any eyebrows or eyelashes, I can understand that you need to draw a line up there to represent the eyebrows, but do not go plucking out your beautiful eyebrows to draw and paint some on. Wash your face and keep your skin clean, and eat the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, and your skin will improve, and your natural beauty will increase and develop, and you will grow more into beauty. Remember, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Allah wanted to make us into the most beautiful. I have sisters tell me that when they wash off their makeup to be themselves, that their husbands go looking after the ones with the makeup and the lipstick on, and even making comments about how beautiful or sharp the one with the makeup on looks. And he says to her, "Oh, you can wear a little bit." Again, brothers, when you see our sisters trying to clean themselves up and removing their makeup, do not go making eyes and comments at the ones who have it on. Most of you don't even know when some of those women you think are so beautiful have the makeup on. And you don't even know when they're presenting to you a complete false appearance. If they took off their makeup, their shadows, eyebrows, eyelashes, eyeliners, blushes, rouge, lipstick, and so forth, you might not even recognize them. Many of you are gawking at that which you know not. It's all make-believe. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that you do not need to wear any makeup, sisters, that it is the white woman who needs to add color to her skin. He said she needs it because she is of a made-up race of people, and they need makeup to keep them made up. It's time for the truth to stand. Some of you are saying, I'm already doing these things. I wear decent linen clothing. I do not smoke. I do not drink, except for an occasional social drink. I use clean language. I don't stay out late at night soliciting men. I strive to keep my family together. I work to please my husband. I cook. I sew. I do all of these things that I've heard that Muslim women are supposed to do. Good. If you have accomplished all of this, do not you owe something to your black sister out there who does not know these things?